They're watching through the wire. Dr. Hans. Holzer's warning about spirit contact via devices. Paranormal investigator Dr. Hans Holzer spent over 4 decades studying hauntings, ghosts in castles, spirits in cemeteries, possessions and poltergeists, but it was one particular discovery that disturbed him more than any haunted house ever could. He began to suspect that spirits weren't limited to creaking floorboards or cold spots. They were coming through the machines, and we were inviting them in. Holzer's early EVP experiments in the 1950s used real tapes to capture ghost voices. At first, they were rare, a few syllables, strange static patterns, an occasional name. But as technology advanced, so did the clarity of the voices, and something darker began to surface. "We are creating pathways we don't understand," Holzer wrote in 1971. "Every time we press record, we ask someone or something to speak." A family reported their old black and white TV flickering on at exactly 2:59 a.m. every night. No picture, just static. Then one night, the father, an electrician, unplugged the set. It still turned on. The screen displayed a phrase in faint white letters, "Not done talking." Holzer was brought in. He discovered no external wiring that could explain the anomaly, but his psychic medium reported 3 watching presences near the set. The family moved out within weeks. The TV stayed behind. A woman claimed that her intercom system was whispering to her at night. At first, it repeated normal household sounds. Then it began using her own voice to call her name. One night she unplugged the system entirely and still heard, "Behind you." Holzer believed that spirit energy was mimicking sound through dormant circuits, using emotional familiarity to induce fear. He wrote, "They use what they find: sound, reflection, memory. What frightens us isn't the message. It's that they know us well enough to say it." Students complained of their tape recorders playing back phrases they hadn't recorded. Messages like, "Turn around. Don't go home." We remember one recorder played the phrase, "It's mine now," after being left in an empty room for 3 hours. Holzer believed the dorm was haunted by a residual spirit bound to the frequency of the devices themselves, not the building. Holzer theorized 3 key things that still terrify paranormal researchers today. First, spirits can manipulate energy fields. Every electrical device, from phones to radios to televisions, generates a weak EMF electromagnetic field. Ghosts can use that field like a battery. Second, spirits mimic the familiar. They often repeat voices, phrases, or sounds you know, not because they're who you think, but because it makes you drop your guard. Third, the more you invite, the closer they get. Trying to contact them through devices, even casually, gives them permission. Holzer warned repeatedly, these are not party tricks. Once you open that line, they don't always hang up. A teenage girl answered her landline after 3 rings. No one was there. Then a faint voice whispered, "Don't answer next time." 2 days later, the phone rang once, then stopped. That night, she was found sleepwalking toward a window with the phone in her hand, though no one had dialed out. Holzer called this residual intent tethering, where the spirit forms a feedback loop through the emotional connection to the device. Holzer passed away in 2009, long before smartphones, Alexa devices, or smart TVs became common in every home. But if he were alive today, he would likely issue one final warning. We carry the conduit in our pockets now. We no longer go looking for ghosts. We've given them permission to come find us. Every blinking light, every echo, every glitch. What if it's not a bug? What if it's them trying to dial back in? So before you record that next EVP, before you scroll through dead air, before you ask your device, who's there? Ask yourself, are you ready for the answer?